Yeah, I could. Well, I hadn't planned on starting this video like this, but if you watched last week, you know I got the truck stuck. So it's time to check the mated queens that we added about 2 weeks ago. So that's a 50% take on our first graft of the season. So good morning, it's 7:20 and the early start for us. We're just off to start rounding up some nukes, and we've got a couple of exciting things happening today. The truck was actually frozen this morning when I got up, so I've obviously defrosted that. So we're on our way a couple of sites now. As I said, we've got a new site in Liverpool to stock with our nukes, and then we've got one nuke going to quite a special place in Liverpool city centre. So hopefully I'll be able to film that for you and show you what we're up to. So there we go, that's 11 nukes picked up. I don't know if you can make them out. So they're going to go to their new sites now, and we've actually dropped off some more nukes in their place, just so, as I call it, fatten up. These will get transferred into full-size hives hopefully in 2 to 3 weeks up here on the rapeseed. Not a lot going on at the minute. The hives are still in the shade from the hedges, but it won't be long until that sun moves round and they become active. So anyway, off to Liverpool now to drop these nukes off at the new site, and then, like I say, one of them is going to quite a special place in Liverpool city centre. So stay tuned. Liverpool, which is a new permanent site for us. So I came first thing this morning, brought these nukes, let them orientate, and I'll bob back this afternoon after nip into Liverpool city centre. Now the bees are orientated, and then we're just going to transfer them into full-size hives. So it's Saturday morning. We brought Keegan along, our eldest. He's quite enthusiastic on the bees at the moment, and he's decided he wants to get involved, wants to leave school. So I'm certainly not going to curb that enthusiasm. Bee farming will do that itself as he learns. So we're just going to check on these cells that we grafted the other day. If I'm completely honest, I'm not really confident about them. The weather's gone quite cold over the past couple of days. It was frozen solid yesterday. I don't think the bees are that enthusiastic about raising queens at the moment. I think it's going to be another week or two, Temperatures are set to go a little bit high next week. It's saying 16 degrees. Whether that comes to fruition or not is another matter. So we might have another go then, but we'll check these ones. It's our first graft of the season, so I'm not too disappointed if it's a blank or we only get a few. Every queen matters, to be honest. I'll be able to use them regardless, but we'll have a look inside this cell builder and see what's going on. Just scratch it. So this is our cell builder that we built the other day, and you saw us putting the cells in. Now the nuke at the side on double brood. It's a 14 by 12 at the bottom and a national deep at the top. I've just gone through this and found the queen. She was actually in the top box. So I've now pushed her into the bottom box, queen excluder. Now this is just a box of bees and brood and stores. So we'll use this top half as our finisher. Obviously if the queen was in the top half, she'd then rip the cells down because obviously she doesn't want to be replaced. So by putting them down below, we'll put the cells on the top, and the worker bees and the nurse bees they'll finish them off just thinking it's normal. Now I have got my jacket on over my suit, as although the sun's out and the sun's warm, that wind is freezing. Like I say, it's just not quite warm enough I think to be raising queens. So there we go, that's our first one. So take, we've won they're not too bad. I mean, that one's capped already, they've done the job for me. So we'll brush the bees off these, we'll check the other one, we'll brush the bees off, try and get as many as we can onto one frame, sorry, and then we'll stick them in the finisher. But we'll probably end up with 20 or so queens. Not the best results, but for first graft and given the conditions, I have to be happy with that. Certainly not enough to start selling yet though. And this is the other one. So they all look good cells, the ones that have been finished. And see there, that's the green one. So doesn't seem any difference between the brown and the green cell cups. So get them onto one frame and we'll see what we've got. So we've ended up with 28 cells that I've taken. So that's a 50% take on our first graft of the season, so you know what, I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll put them all onto one frame and these will now go into our finisher. As I say, I've already made the gap. They're just going to go into there. I'll put that super back on. And they're good. We'll check those Monday, and when we come back Monday we'll stick a little bit more brood into this cell builder and we'll do another graft and we'll use it again. Like I said, it is meant to be warmer next week, so fingers crossed we get a better take. But we'll start grafting now each week until September, but still plenty of bees to hatch on here. But for next time I want to get it bubbling, this hive. So we're at our nuke come May to April, and we finally got the weather at last. It looks like in the forecast it's going to start getting nice. The bees are certainly out, they're on a flow at the moment. So it's time to check the mated queens that we added about 2 weeks ago. Hopefully all of them have taken, but we're going to find out, aren't we? Plenty of fresh eggs in this one, larvae, so signs are more positive. And there we go. Another really ginger queen. See eggs again. Lots of eggs, laid both sides of that. And there she is. Look at that for a ginger queen. I do like a ginger queen. No, not that kind. On the first frame. And there we go, another one. Knackered. Well, I hadn't planned on starting this video like this, but if you watched last week, you know I got the truck stuck. Now, I know you're going to say it's set up, and I know you're going to say I'm stupid. I didn't do it on purpose. Someone has been up here recently, you can see the tyre tracks on the field, but what they didn't do, they didn't use the track like I did. So I did walk down it to start off with, and I thought, you know what, it's crispy, it'll be alright that. Just one spot has caught me out. Now the issue I have, other than being stuck, is my pride. I think I'd rather swallow my own than go and ask Mark again for more help. So I've just carried all this concrete over from the woodlands just up there. I think I've got to jack it back at the car. I'm going to jack it up and see if I can get it out myself. I don't go and ask Mark again. I used to have a motto in my regiment in army. It was improvise, adapt and overcome. And that's what this is a case of. Friggin' hottest day of the year so far. Oh, come on. I need some new tyres desperately. Like a bloody old hen scratching about in mud. Oh, f*** off. Holy sh**. Whatever you do, don't tell Vic about that, just between me and you. Right, where were we? So we're over in Latham, near Ormskirk. Just checking these bees. So we've got 4 sites up here in total. So they're actually, I'll spin the camera around, they're on in the distance, you might be able to see over here the rapeseed, and then this field in front will be sunflowers later in the year, as it was last year. So as you can see, these girls are certainly on the floor, and I've seen social media posts this week of people having to feed bees in spring and just to keep them alive, but thankfully we've no worries of that here. These girls are up into the 3rd super. There you go, you may or may not be able to make that out, but it's literally full of OSR or canola nectar. In fact, I'm going to move some frames about just so they fill them evenly. It's an ideal opportunity then to have a little debrief of what's gone on this week. It's been absolutely manic. So we're still around Liverpool. Obviously Thursday Vic's here to give us a hand, which is ideal. It gives me a bit of time to obviously tell you what's gone on this week. So the cells have been an absolute disaster. No fault of our own really. So me and Keegan went and checked those on Saturday. We put them in the cell finisher. When I went to record it, ran out of battery on the camera. So unfortunately I didn't get that bit. So I ripped them out, took them back home, put them in the incubator. Only for the next day, the alarms to be going off on the incubator with another sensor fault. On looking at it, I think the temperature had gone down to about 17 degrees, even though the thermostat was showing 40 odd, which again, it is still wrong. So reset it, managed to get it working again, and then I noticed the humidity wasn't working correctly, and then it just went completely to pot. So I took them back out, I've put them back in the finisher for now, with her roller cages on, until the new part comes for our incubator. So that's the cells. I'm not holding up much hope from them. I don't think they're going to do anything. The fact that the temperature's been up and down, they've been moved backwards and forwards, I think that's a total loss. Whatever we do get, if we get anything, is a bonus. So we've been to Liverpool 1 this morning, dropped another nuke off there, which is, like I said, a fantastic opportunity to be beekeeping on top of the roof of Liverpool 1. Liverpool want to doing loads and loads of work, creating green spaces and planting wildflowers in and around the shopping centre. So that's going to be great going forwards. And then we went over to Prescott, to Ollie Bloggs' yard. So the hives over there are booming. Most of them are in 2 supers. Wait for this tractor to go past. Most of them are up into the 2nd super. If anything, there's too much nectar coming in. They're backfilling it in the brood spaces. It's just everywhere. In the car it says it's 20 odd degrees. I think it's 21 it says. It was forecast 19. So obviously it's between there somewhere, degrees C. But yeah, so much nectar coming in. It's dripping off the brood frames. It's up in the supers. Shouldn't complain about that, but like I said, the bees are just packing it in anywhere and everywhere. So then we've nipped up to Hartown. We're at Sunny Fields. We're just checking on these hives that we moved over from Nukes last week. They are growing. We've put uncapped supers in the honey house from last year. They've been left over winter. The honey was obviously no good to us. We can't do anything with it. We either extracted it and got rid of it and fed it back to the bees or whatever. But what we've decided to do is use it a bit of an accelerator on these Nukes that we've moved over last week. So these have got some of it's capped, most of it's uncapped. So they've got some uncapped honey from last year. Like I say, they'll give them a bit of a boost. We'll soon be filling those brood boxes, and then we'll come back next week, queen excluders on, and hopefully they're of a decent size. That's it's ideal. Vic's here just giving me an hand where I can debrief really. So from here then, we're pretty much done for around Liverpool today. Tomorrow I'm going to attempt to graft again. So by the time them cells are ready for the incubator, hopefully my parts arrived and we can get back to normal. So like I said, a bit of all sorts going on this week. We've been all over the shop, manic week, but listen, I shouldn't complain. Come back from a busy day on the bees. But the head's fried, my feet are roasting. Only to find we've caught not 1, but 2 swarms. In our spare equipment stacked up on the trailer. So, bees even when you're not trying. It's alright catching swarms and all that, but 1, you don't know what you're bringing in, and 2, often the more hassle than the worse. So, but they're here now anyway. We'll leave them for another day and we'll get them sorted out.